Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about the regional mags because it seems like a lot of people don't know that these regional mags give server-wide effects or ship-wide effects, and they are incredibly powerful, and it's kind of important to feed all of them so that you get all of the buffs. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to go over is, of course, our free items. So when we go to systems over here, get campaign items, receive item account, we do get the free central collection 2 giveaway. This campaign was going on like 2 weeks ago, and we finally get the second part, or poster B. So make sure that you do pick that up. All right, with that out of the way, the next thing I want to talk about are, of course, the regional mags. So, most people are probably going to be either in Retem or Kavaris, simply because that's where most of the campaign stuff is going on right now. But I want to talk about Retem first, because I know a lot of people are farming for seasonal points in Retem Al Noth or even lower levels, or even just in the exploration zones. And so it's incredibly important that you feed all 3 regional mags. As you can see over here, these 2 regional mags are not fed, as they have the ZZZ sign, kind of floating above, while this one down here is fed because it doesn't have the ZZZ sign. And when you hover over it, you can see our mag boost all. This is the server-wide effect. We all get an extra 10% RDR, as well as seasonal enemy appearance rate plus 15%. During seasonal events, it's incredibly important that you feed all 3 region mags in a very specific region, because for example over here, this one is not fully fed yet, so we are missing out on attack potency plus 5%, as well as seasonal enemy appearance rate plus 15%. And then over here we've got another 10% EXP earned that we're missing out, but more importantly, seasonal enemy appearance rate plus 15% is also missing. So you really want to make sure that as a ship that you guys work together in order to activate all of these different regional mags. Now keep in mind, the moment you activate it, it lasts for 24 hours. So you really do want to make sure that you feed all of them so that you get all of these buffs, especially the damage one. It's 5% extra damage just sitting there on the table waiting for you to pick it up. So you really should pick that up. And if you are farming in combat zones for seasonal points, this is an extra 30% extra spawn rate for these seasonal enemies. So you really want to make sure that you feed all of them so that you get a total of 45% more spawn rate of these seasonal enemies. So then when there's more seasonal enemies, when you kill the seasonal enemies, you get seasonal points. But because only one region mag over here is activated, we only have a 15% increase for the seasonal enemy appearance rate versus our regular 45%. So even if you do farm in Retem Al Noth, you're basically missing out on 30% extra seasonal points whenever you're farming here per hour or so forth and so on, which isn't so good because it's awfully easy to fill up all of these region mags. Now do keep in mind that by feeding the 3 region mags in Retem will only affect Retem. Let's say that you're going in Kavaris and you're farming stuff in Kavaris, then you need to feed the other 3 region mags. As you can see over here, only this region mag is filled. As we can see over here, full stomach bonus, rare drop rate plus 10%, as well as low temperature damage resistance plus 10%. But the low damage resistance doesn't really matter until we return to Kavaris, and if we have to go to the gorge area. I know a lot of people weren't playing the game when, we had to go to the gorge area to hunt down ancients. So when we do return to Kavaris in several months' time, you guys are in for a surprise. But basically, in this gorge area, you take damage over time if you don't have enough cold resistance. And so you do need to build up that cold resistance through your mag over here, through your gear, or through food items. So it's a very interesting concept, and I hope that Sega builds upon it this time when we're returning to Kavaris, but we'll have to wait and see. But nevertheless, you need to feed all 3 region mags for your specific area. So again, if you're farming in Kavaris, let's say that you fed all of the region mags in Retem. When you come to Kavaris, those buffs do not carry over. Those buffs only apply to Retem. So when you're in Kavaris, you need to feed all of the region mags again. You need to make sure that this one is fully fed in order to get your 5% extra damage. And down here, you need to feed this one in order to get your extra 10% EXP earned. However, do keep in mind that feeding the other regional mags in different regions does not affect the spawn rate for the seasonal enemies. Because as you can see over here, this one does not say anything about seasonal enemies. It's just a seasonal bonus and it's blank underneath. because, you know, Kavaris is not a seasonal zone. The current seasonal zone is Retem, which is why only in Retem we have the seasonal bonus, seasonal enemies appearance plus 15%. Like, let's take a look at Alio over here. You can see again, under seasonal bonus, it's just blank. There's nothing over there. However, again, if you are farming in Alio, you do want to make sure that you feed all 3 region mags over here so that you get all of these bonuses. Like the rare drop rate one is not fed over here, as well as the extra EXP one is not fed. However, the damage one is fed. So this is something that I realize that more and more people are slowly ignoring, and it's kind of hurting everyone's progression because, you know, if you feed all of these mags, these buffs are server wide. Everyone on your ship gets these buffs. So you really want to make sure that you do feed them. And on top of that, a lot of people tend to ask, Kara, what about the R mag personal boost? So let me teleport to this one, since giving everyone extra damage is always a good thing. So when you get to the region mag over here, you can feed it whatever you want. As you can see over here, crisp Retem meat's actually going to give me 200% more points if I do feed it. As you can see, one piece of crisp Retem meat gives me 45 points. Versus if I gave a normal item that does not have a point rate boost, it only gives me 30 points, as you can see. And the items with the yellow color text gives a point rate of 50%. However, I usually don't feed it that because I have this seasonal event currency that we had ages ago, and I still have a lot of this. You basically just want to feed it whatever you don't need to the region mag, but for me, I feed these. And the main thing that you want to feed up to is 400 points, okay? You want to make sure that you hit 400 points because that is going to give you the maximum amount of R mag boost personal, which is your personal rare drop rate, all right? So you're gonna click confirm over here, 400 points, I'm gonna click yes. So now you can see that my R mag personal boost has been boosted to level 3, which is the maximum. So when we go over here to my personal, character information, stat information, we can see right under regional mag boost, rare drop rate plus 20% for 2 hours. This is the maximum rare drop rate that you can get every time you feed 400 points or get to level 3. It activates for 2 hours, gives you this extra rare drop rate plus 20%. Now do keep in mind, you can only do this once every 2 hours. Let's say that I go to another regional mag, I feed another 400 points, it's not going to increase my rare drop rate to 40%, 60%, whatever. It is capped at 20%. Now, a very important point to keep in mind about the rare drop rate plus 20% is this only applies to the region that you are currently in. So for example, we are in Retem. We fed the Retem regional mag to get this extra 20% rare drop rate. The moment we teleport to a different place, let's go to Alio right now, we are going to lose that buff. But when you come back to Retem, you regain the buff again. And the timer still ticks even though it doesn't show. So as you can see right now, I am in Central City. In Alio, I go to personal, character information, stat information, and you can see that the regional mag boost is gone. I do not have that extra 20% rare drop rate, but I do have this attack potency plus 5% because this was one of the mags that is fed. So when we come over here, you can see right here, this invincible region mag, this one is fed. We have 17 more hours of attack potency plus 5%. However, if I want to unlock the extra 10% rare drop rate on top of my 20% rare drop rate, I'm going to need to come to the priceless region mag over here, feed it 400 points worth of food or items or materials in order to get the R mag boost personal, which will give me the 20% rare drop rate. And then on top of that, it'll also progress the R mag boost all. You can see it's currently at 49.9% out of 100. The moment we hit 100, we get 24 hours boost of rare drop rate plus 10%. So it's really, really important to understand how these regional mags work and that, you know, the importance of actually feeding them, especially during seasonal events, because it directly influences how many seasonal points you can get when you're farming in a combat zone. And last but not least, I need to address whether these mag buffs actually work in limited time quests, Lucille exploration, dual quest triggers, and all of that stuff. And for the most part, they do not. However, sometimes they do, especially with the limited time quest. I don't know why Sega does this, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I believe in the current Chiliest Chase, it does not work. As for Lucille exploration, it doesn't work here either. But nevertheless, you just want to check by simply going into that content. And once you're in there, you want to go to personal, go to character information, stat information, and see if it says regional mag boost and if it shows these stats over here. If it does show it, then it means it is active. If it doesn't show it, that means it is not active. Okay?
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.